Thank you for tuning in to Exeter TV. Exeter TV is the town's public and government access channels, available on Comcast Channels 6 and 22. Channel 6 is your channel. If you have an idea for a program, want to host your own talk show, or submit a film, we're here to get your content on television. On Channel 22, we bring you live and replay coverage of government meetings and other town updates. A third channel, Blue Hawk Media, is operated by SAU 16 and can be found on Channel 8, with all your school sports, events, and meetings. You can watch Exeter TV online at exeternh.tv, Apple TV, and on Roku. Find us on social media for extra content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell to get notified about live streams and new content. Tune in to our platforms every other Friday to watch the Exeter Bi-Weekly Report with recaps of recent events, updates from town departments, and messages from nonprofits in your area. If you head to our website, exeternh.tv, we invite you to sign up to our newsletter to receive monthly updates about new content, upcoming meetings, and more. We'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch Exeter TV and hope that you tune in to our other content as well. Thank you for tuning in to Exeter TV. Exeter TV is the town's public and government access channels, available on Comcast Channels 6 and 22. Channel 6 is your channel. If you have an idea for a program, want to host your own talk show, or submit a film, we're here to get your content on television. On Channel 22, we bring you live and replay coverage of government meetings and other town updates. A third channel, Blue Hawk Media, is operated by SAU 16 and can be found on Channel 8, with all your school sports, events, and meetings. You can watch Exeter TV online at exeternh.tv, Apple TV, and on Roku. Find us on social media for extra content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell to get notified about live streams and new content. Tune in to our platforms every other Friday to watch the Exeter Bi-Weekly Report with recaps of recent events, updates from town departments, and messages from nonprofits in your area. If you head to our website, exeternh.tv, we invite you to sign up to our newsletter to receive monthly updates about new content, upcoming meetings, and more. We'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch Exeter TV and hope that you tune in to our other content as well.
I'd like to bring the Exeter Heritage Commission meeting to order for Wednesday, October 15th. My name is Françoise Elise, or Fran, and I'm the chairman of the commission.
I'm Pam Juddum.
And I'm Bill Campbell, member of the commission.
So, first item of new business, consideration of recommendations by the commission for the town acquisition of an easement on the property owned by Phillips Exeter Academy of Drinkwater Road for the purpose of a new groundwater supply well and associated infrastructure. So we have the head of the Public Works Department.
Good morning. Thank you for your time. Steve Cronin, Public Works Director. So I'm here today as part of the 4114A process. All easements get referred to various boards for consideration and recommendation back to the Select Board before they go through a public hearing process and a vote. I'm sure you're all somewhat aware of this project, but if you don't mind, I'll just give a brief recap. From 2020 to 2022, the Water Department conducted a groundwater exploration program to identify potential development zones aimed at expanding and diversifying the town's water supply sources. A total of 22 borings were drilled across 3 different target areas, with the most promising site on a parcel on Phillips Exeter Academy property off Drinkwater Road. In 2022, an 8-inch test well was installed at the site, which yielded positive results. And based on those results, the town submitted a preliminary well siting application to New Hampshire Department of Environmental Services in 2023, which was ultimately approved. That preliminary approval included several conditions, including the town to secure an easement for the new well and its associated infrastructure. So in August of 2024, we finalized an option agreement with PEA to negotiate the purchase of said easement contingent upon the town obtaining all the necessary permits and approvals for the new source. Later that fall, our consultants installed a 12-inch production well and completed a 7-day pump test. And then we submitted a final well siting application report in May of 2025, which proposed a production volume of 400 gallons per minute for the new well. In order for us to receive final approval, we must now finalize the acquisition of the easement. So we are asking the Heritage Commission to review the easement, consider it, and make a recommendation back to the Select Board.
Well, that's very kind of you. I don't really think it comes under heritage. I mean, we're not talking about any historic building out there or any historic anything.
Yep.
So all we care is that you don't build an eyesore, basically.
What
We will
about the
not do
fact that they are coming close to the pond,
Well,
Jude's Pond, which,
well, first of all, we don't know that it is Jude's Pond.
well, but that's what
We
we're
think
calling
it is. And second of all, I assume that to build a well, you have to build it where the water is.
Correct, yep. So the well itself,
Well-
if you look at the map on
Yeah.
the screen here, is about 800 feet off of Drinkwater Road. So we are proposing to come in off the White Trail with a gravel driveway using the existing trail. There'll also be buried underground electrical there. To the well site, there's a 400-foot radius around the well site, which we have to control as well. So that's what that highlighted circle is. And then there's roughly a 2,300-foot, 30-foot wide easement from that circle to the Larry Lane Water Treatment Plant that will include the transmission main that will be directionally drilled underground. So it's a minimally intrusive project. Really, the only disturbances are going to be at the immediate entrance off of Drinkwater Road. And at the well site, we'll install a control building, a generator, propane tank. There'll be some clearing for the crane and for the directional drilling equipment so that we have a small laydown area for pipe and such. But other than that, it'll be fairly minimal cutting out there.
I'm assuming it will look like the other wells, the other town. Yeah.
Yes, this one will actually be, the footprint will be a little bit smaller. Those other wells, we've actually included the well within the building, so there's a motor and a pump all above ground. This well, we're proposing to put in a submersible well pump, so you'll just see the top of the well casing, and then we're looking at a fairly small building that's probably somewhere in the area of 8 by 20.
No, that, sort of tail on the map is where you enter from Drinkwater, from the right there.
Correct.
Is where you come in off Drinkwater.
Yes.
So that's going to be a gravel road in,
Yep, so we're going to be making some very minor improvements to the trail in order to bring in the heavier equipment to support the weight. So maybe filling in some rutting and things to that effect, but really not constructing, a true driveway in the sense.
what I would just, that it matter whether it really is Jude's Pond or not. At least, you're not doing anything on the White Trail that would, throw a whole bunch of dirt over that way or,
No,
no.
no, there would be conditions, obviously, for erosion control and things like that that are included in construction, but.
So, I mean, whether it is or not, we believe, some of us believe it is, it needs not to be disturbed, sort of thing,
Right.
because you're right by it.
Mm-hmm.
So otherwise, I think it's.
You didn't include
great.
that in your recommendation, recommendation from our,
Okay, when we make a motion.
when we
Yeah.
make a motion, yeah. So how much would 400 gallons per minute be of value to the town?
So that would essentially double our capacity at our groundwater plant. We have 3 other groundwater wells in town that we withdraw from. When the plant was built, it was sized for 1 million gallons a day. Unfortunately, when the Great Dam came out, those other 3 sources ended up losing some of their capacity and haven't really produced what we had anticipated. So this additional 500,000 gallons a day is going to get us back to the design capacity of the plant.
Isn't that new, relatively new over there on Larry?
I think it was 2015 when that went
Yeah.
online, so
Yeah.
yep, relatively new.
Yeah.
But it's going to help us
That's
diversify our water supply sources here in town. Right now, we rely primarily on surface water, which is a little bit more expensive to treat. Obviously, a much older plant, so we're going to be relying more on groundwater, which is more efficient, typically a little bit cleaner on the raw water side, so it requires less chemical, less energy. So in the long run, certainly more beneficial to the town.
I see you're going across or under the river. How is that
Yes.
going to work?
Yep, so we're going to directionally drill under the river. There'll be, similar to how we did the sewer siphons project, there'll be an
Okay.
entry pit within that 400-foot radius, an exit pit on the eastern side of the river, where that daylights, so that we can then drill again underneath the river and come up at the well house, and then they'll fuse everything essentially underground and it'll all be buried, so you won't even see
Have we
it.
done any testing under there?
We have, yep, so we
So
did some
not gonna-
borings out there
Not
last
going to have
fall.
the same problem we had.
I don't think so. I think the conditions are a lot more favorable. I think we learned a lot from the sewer siphons project, so we will be looking to structure the bidding in a way that I think protects the town a little bit better if we were to run into issues, but we certainly don't anticipate as many.
Okay.
Right.
So,
I don't think it's a major, because it's mostly just a recreational river.
Yes.
And if it's alone, it's got a couple of feet, you could lay the pipe almost on top of the,
yeah, I mean, we have
mud
a
that's
pretty,
there.
we have a pretty good idea of the soil conditions out there anyway from previous testing that's been done, so
That's good.
we don't anticipate running into the same ledge issues, and we were able to at least analyze a majority of the drilling path, so we feel
I
pretty
think
confident.
it's great that we're doing it. We've been looking and looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorely needed, for sure.
Has this project already been funded?
It has been funded. We're pretty close to completing design at this point.
Okay.
To get the final approval, as I said, this easement is really the last piece. So once we have that
Okay.
from DES and the design plans are completed, our hope is to go out to bid on this probably late November, sometime in December.
Good.
This year. So we'd likely be starting construction in the spring of '26.
So is there a cost to this easement?
There is a cost to the easement. We've negotiated that with PEA, and I think we are pretty close to finalizing that dollar amount, but we'll be bringing that to the select board on, I believe, the 27th to discuss it with them. So,
Okay. Would there be an ongoing cost?
no, it will be a
Okay.
lump sum
Okay.
agreed upon price.
Now, this water, I remember when we were drilling to replace some of the others, this water is a little better, easier to treat and, purify or whatever you call it.
It is. The ground has sort of a natural filtering effect.
Yeah.
So it's typical New England groundwater. You're going to have levels of iron and manganese, some turbidity. There is some arsenic, which we already see at the Larry
Right.
Lane well. But in terms of organic material that you typically will see in surface water that kind of gives it its color, it has a lot less of that. So definitely easier to treat from a color removal standpoint, and then it also helps us to keep our disinfection byproducts down.
So would this extra source contribute to our ability to provide water to the industrial park?
Yes. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. It's going to add to the overall total supply in town. So
Okay. Is there a talk about the balance of that industrial use versus resident use at the select board level? Or water?
not necessarily. I mean, we take each user request on a case-by-case basis. So
Okay.
we don't necessarily look at it from a residential versus a commercial versus an industrial usage. It's really from what we have available in capacity as a town as a whole.
I know our industry is very valuable to our tax base and to the economic development of the area, so.
Yes. Yeah.
Does anybody have any more questions? Does somebody want to make a motion?
I move that we accept this proposal, or perhaps give it our blessing. I'm not quite sure exactly what you're asking for.
I would say that the select board, you recommend to the select board that they acquire an easement in favor of the project.
And you had,
Yeah, I'd like to just make a note on the end of it that the project does not interfere with the Jude Pond area. Yeah.
so we would recommend the project to the select board, including that we recommend that the Jude Pond area not be
Disrupted.
impacted.
Impacted. Yeah. Or if they do, they have to clean it up, which I think you guys would do anyway.
Okay, or,
Good.
all right, thank you. So do I have a second on that?
So, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries. Okay, thank you, Director Cronin.
Thank you very much for your time.
Really appreciate your presentation.
You drive a hard bargain. I think this is good.
We do need new water sources, that's for sure.
Thank you.
So we do have to step back and review and approve the minutes of the September 17th meeting, which the minutes are in your packet. Does anybody have
Yeah,
any?
I have one question
Okay.
about that. On page 5, where do they go? Here, no? They were right away. Oh, they were right away. No, that's the, oh, here they are. Sorry. On page 5, it said, next is the Demolition Review Committee, and John said we have a couple. One was at the beginning of Portsmouth Avenue up the hill.
yeah.
There was something, and also the dry cleaners. I understand, from what I know, that we talked about the dry cleaners, and we were out there, but I'm not sure what was referred to on the beginning of Portsmouth Avenue up the hill.
Isn't the development, of
Yes,
residential
that was the
development?
whole PEA housing development.
Well, but
Or the newly proposed residential development?
but we had already talked about that.
Yes, we had
way
already
a long
talked
time
about it.
ago.
John was just reporting what the planning board was discussing, and we had already talked about it.
The PEA development has been up there for a couple of years now. Okay, well, whatever. I just didn't understand.
This wasn't specific to our last meeting. We didn't discuss these two items at our last meeting.
Okay,
Also on page 6, second paragraph from the bottom, Francois asked if there was anything new with Pearpoint Park. I think it's Fairpoint Park.
It's pear. Well,
It is pear, like a couple of things?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I see. It's one word, but that doesn't really matter. It is Pearpoint. Just as it is on the building downtown. All right. I'll move that these minutes be accepted as submitted.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No? That motion carries. Okay, so this next item, review of memorandum of agreement between the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, New Hampshire State Historic Preservation Officer, and the town of Exeter regarding the Great Dam removal and river restoration project. Julie Gilman had looked at this when we had a tour with the New Hampshire Preservation Alliance conference on the removal of the Great Dam and how it came about and the legislation involved in it and its impact and its remediation. And Julie wanted us to look into the memorandum of agreement regarding the removal of this dam and the remediation. Item 6. I am not that familiar with it, but the town will create an interior historical exhibit commemorating the dam that would be on display inside the Exeter Library. So apparently, currently, there is no exhibit.
Nope.
But
Someone told me there was, okay.
But it's an exhibit of photographs of the dam. They may have photographs on file that are not in an exhibit, but Julie wanted us to look into this. So potentially what I can do is, if we want to make a motion, I can discuss this further with the library to see if there is photographs on file there. And if not, what would happen next?
There's supposed to be also a place in the library where you can look out the window at the current situation, and there's etched in on the window what the dam looked like.
They actually did that. And
I thought that was up already.
It is up.
it is up.
So that part's done.
Yes, so
Yeah.
you have not seen it, I will take you. It is really kind of
No,
interesting.
Uh-huh.
It's way over in the corner. The very last, when you go in to the right and where they have the comfy chairs.
Yeah?
Okay, it's down at that end.
Oh, I should go take a look.
So there's an etched glass piece of the dam as it was, and it's superimposed, hanging in front of the window, where you then look out the window, you stand in a certain part, and you line up the houses on the side, and you could basically see where the dam was. It's very touching. I thought it was very well done. So that piece is in place. So Julie was interested in the item 6 of this memorandum and at what stage, or if it is completed, or if there's, I understand that the library does have a lot of photographs on file.
Well, they were going to put it on the back wall, and it didn't work.
Oh,
And I don't know what happened after that.
okay.
Okay, well.
So I would
I-
recommend that I would look into this with the
I
library.
would, if you need a motion, I'll make a
Okay,
motion.
and then I can report back at our next meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
That the chair look into that.
Okay. And see, so I'll have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Okay. So, the next item of new business is discussion relative to starting Heritage Commission, a Heritage Award program in the town of Exeter. What I'd like to do, or what I'd like to look at and see what people think here, is going forward and creating an Exeter Heritage Award program where every year we would recognize people, projects, community groups who have contributed to educating and preserving and promoting the heritage of Exeter. And we have so many examples that I couldn't get into this list right now unless you want
Well,
me to.
tell me a few, because I've been trying to think what you mean.
Okay, so Gale Park. This is just a current. So we could do something post-mortem on people who've contributed in the past as well as current.
Because Gale Park is kind of a mess right now.
Gale Park?
Yeah, are you talking about at the corner of the river?
No, Gale Park where the Daniel French sculpture is.
Okay. Oh, the one?
Exeter Inn.
Okay.
Yes. So in the recent years, there's been some volunteers that have gone in and beautified the park.
And
their
I
own.
thought that the selectmen wanted to tear the whole thing down and make a
Oh, they still are going to want to make a roundabout there.
Yeah, I
But they
pray
won't.
that I die before that happens.
But that still leaves Gale Park. They might nip the nose of it, but I don't think they're going to take the park. At least that's my understanding.
Well, efforts of the volunteers that put their time and effort into beautifying that park, it's very, very attractive now. But that's an example. So the gentleman that has just redone a commercial space in downtown called Apothecary. And he took the interior of the space down to the original. And it's just,
You mean that wine bar that's in there?
it's on the wine bar is on the lower level.
Yeah, well,
There's another, cocktail, small
Yeah.
plates
Yeah,
restaurant
that's-
on the
yeah.
first floor. And it's,
Tony,
yeah,
it's
it's
kind of-
very, very, very
Yeah.
nice, and it's a really good example of, a historic district creating an attractive spot for people to go and enjoy the historic district environment. That's another one. But let me say this. In this past year, we've honored John Merkel, and we've honored Pam.
Yay.
Now, the only way we've been able to honor John Merkel's work in architectural preservation and promotion is through the state New Hampshire Preservation Alliance. They had an award that we applied to recognize him. With Pam, there was an award through the New Hampshire Council on Aging, and we were able to recognize Pam's work through that award. But what kind of vehicle can we award our residents who are contributing to the promotion, preservation, and education of our Exeter heritage? We can do it ourselves. We don't have to rely on other people, other entities, and there's certainly a tremendous amount of work that has been done ongoing in contributing to the Historic District, the Heritage Commission, our historic sites. And I would like to propose that we have an annual Heritage Award that would also accomplish our goals. We've talked over time about educating the public. I mean, we can hold workshops and have people come in and do things. And through our awards, we can educate the people on what we value, what's been done, and who's done it, what groups, which people have done it. And in that way, we are really educating and promoting the heritage of Exeter. This particular form that I have in front of me is an example of the Wolfboro Heritage Awards. And it's a very simple presentation where they don't talk about categories like people or employees or groups. They just have an open nomination where they take in nominations from different people. I am working with the New Hampshire Preservation Alliance on gathering other models. And I'd like to look at some other models in which we would look at developing a heritage award. And I just want to say one more thing, and then I would ask for some more input from our commission. Exeter's 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence will be celebrated next year. And I think at that time, in selecting a certain day during our 250th celebration, the Heritage Commission could contribute to the celebration of the town by inaugurating a Heritage Award that would be held every year.
Would we be doing that at one of our meetings, do you think?
It would be nice.
Special.
I think we could do it at one of our meetings, but, and we can certainly decide what we want to do. There are going to be some ongoing activities throughout the 250th, Exeter's 250th celebration year. And I would think we could pick an appropriate time to have a presentation ceremony, maybe before one of these activities, which I can get into later that we're planning. We can have the awards at one of our meetings. So,
Well, you're on the committee, the 250s?
yes. Yes.
Good. The concept is good. But it would just, would we give them a plaque or something?
We could decide what we want to give them that would commemorate that. A plaque.
Some alewives?
Some alewives.
Yeah, you know,
Right, yes. Yep.
they can take them home and fry them up.
But I know that for me, to recognize John Merkel's contributions to the town was important, and to recognize Pam's. And there are, I think I would like to look at how we can do this internally as a town, to do that ourselves, and versus relying on other entities to recognize our citizens.
Well, we'd have to think of something special. I mean, there's no point in giving something like this with we haven't even got a full board and nobody here. I mean, we've got to make this a splash.
Well, when we do get into the activities
Uh-huh.
of the 250th celebration, which I will address later more in depth, but there are several activities that during 2 weeks in July, not the 4th of July week, that the 250th committee has focused on enhancing existing activities to make them more festive for the 250th. For example, the brass band concerts that are held in the summer. Mm-hmm. The 250th Commission is going to highlight 2 brass band concerts and encourage people to attend these brass band concerts. And we'll have free popsicle and patriotic giveaways. And it'll be promoted as a highlighted activity for the 250th week. There are a couple of concerts that that Parks and Rec run during the summer that are going to be highlighted as special 250th concerts. And with, there is a proposed community picnic to be held prior to a concert and during the farmers market, where we're going to encourage people to come to the community picnic, bring your own, bring food from merchants in the downtown and farmers market fair to attend, where we're going to have music, storytelling, ice cream, patriotic giveaways. Should we decide that we do want to hold an annual Heritage Award program, we could possibly present the inaugural awards at one of these events.
I think it's a nice idea, and I think we could certainly do it at one of the ceremonies that you mentioned. I wonder if year after year, are there people?
Because there has to be a knockout project every year, basically.
Yeah, I think,
It depends. Okay, well, we can also award these awards post-mortem. For example, the gentleman Bell that wrote the history of Exeter.
That's very postmortem, like.
Yes, I know, but has he been recognized for the significance? We could do things like that, and certainly, it would be certainly justified to do that. I don't think we need a knockout.
Well, if we were
Award
going to
every-
do that, we could do Nancy Merrill, and
Of
we could
course.
actually get some of her children here to get the award.
Well, that would be the point. That would be the point, and which would be wonderful.
But then we'd have it probably at the site of where her house has been ripped down. I mean, yes, we could do what we want, and what's appropriate. But this is all, way off in the future, but yeah, it's doable. It needs, I'm trying to think how this is physically going to work.
We can give ourselves as much or as little work as possible.
Yeah.
I think what we would need to do is agree on a format. So the Wolfboro Heritage Awards Commission agreed on a very simple format. I would like to gather some more formats that might be more fitting or less fitting for us to look at. It would probably mean a subcommittee where we set a timeline that every year at this month we're going
There's
to.
5 of us. We can't
Yes.
really have we're
Okay.
all on the subcommittee.
All
Come
right,
on.
that's fine with me. Where we receive nominations, where we review them, and we determine, we don't even have to say every year we're going to have 1, 2, or 3. We could say the nominations that we received warrant X number of awards. And then, of course, we would have to decide on an award, a plaque, some kind of statue, a Daniel French replica statue, because he of himself has contributed a lot to the heritage and the history of Exeter. We can do whatever we want. But I feel this is very important. There is a number of people who have worked without fanfare, and the motivation is to make the town what it is today, a great historic town that's very prosperous and very socially engaged, which I feel in and of itself that is of great value. So, I know personally I have run such an award before, or award similar to this. In Manchester, I ran the Spirit of Manchester Awards.
Oh, cool.
Yes, it was for a whole year. Every month, we nominated somebody who contributed to the town, and we gave them special pins. And it was the people were very endeared by it, and the people who received the awards.
Maybe we should, you say you want to research some other people.
Yes.
Maybe we should just acknowledge that. I don't know if we need a motion, but we could, but that you go ahead and collect those, and we could, we have time to do this before the next meeting.
Yes, it would be great to have a motion to direct me to look into various formats for a Heritage Award and bring them back at our next meeting and look at the different models.
Well, I move that you do just that.
Okay.
And you know, we're here too. You don't have to do everything.
I'm sure Julie's very interested.
I'm sorry, she did mention she'd like to be part of the discussion, and she isn't unable to be here, so she can be here at our next meeting, and we can just.
Well, she's one of the ones that probably ought to get this award. And she is working. She has so many eggs in the air. I don't know how she does it.
Yes, I would agree with you. And there's a number of other people that are working behind the scenes, and
Well, I'll second Pam's
Okay.
motion.
okay,
I think that would be good.
okay, great. Thank you.
Okay.
Well, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries. Great. I'm very excited about this. Okay, next item, Demolition Review Committee. There has been no items that have come before us.
Oh.
Are there any updates? Julie's not here, so she can't update us on the Select Board, the Planning Board, Historic District.
Historic District is meeting tomorrow, but I don't think we've got anything very big.
Okay. And
Airpoint had it.
Pearpoint Park.
Well, we're working away. We just, well, I would say there's nothing really significant that we've accomplished at this point. We're working now on fundraising ideas and things like that. And what also on what should go into the park, with benches and stuff like that. So we're working away at the park, but I would say we have nothing I'd say we've decided this yet. So that's where we're at.
Has Pearpoint Park considered any type of contributions, solicitations from people who would want to invest money from their wills?
I don't know about that. We haven't talked about that. We talked about we're going to have a fundraising category or whatever, and there are people working on how we should do that. Whether we go and knock on doors or, but I'm not sure that anybody wants to put it in their will, but maybe they do. I don't know.
Well, I know there has been a lot of commemorations of park benches to people who have passed away. And
we've had a couple of inquiries about that too.
excellent.
And there's a group which I've been talking with some people about what should go. Should we have a swing? Should we have a playground?
Oh,
that
yeah.
sort of thing. But and that'll come up at one of the meetings soon. But so we're working away at it.
Well, what I know is that the baby boomer generation has amassed probably the most wealth in their financial portfolios that could really be a source of commemorating themselves and their families in funding certain aspects of the park.
Yeah, right.
And
And there are people looking into that on the committee. So
that's
I
wonderful.
must say, it seems to move slow, but we always have to get selectmen approval and all that sort of thing. We, some of the original thought was, well, get 6 people together and go out and dig it up and put a park in. That's not going to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
we're working away.
Great. So the Exeter 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence Committee. Julie and I are on that committee, and we've got a great group of people from the Exeter Historical Society, the American Independence Museum, the church, the Exeter Library, on the Parks and Rec program, Parks and Rec department, which is very valuable in assisting us with the events of the 250 celebration. And we've developed a logo. This is not the exact logo because we've made modifications since our last meeting for it to be more appropriate for reproduction on print material, and it will also incorporate the 250th logo for the nation. What the 250th Commission has done is really quite consciously reviewed how much it would cost, the significance of what types of activities we'll be doing, what kind of community participation we could have. And what we came to was that we would focus on existing events and embellish them to include 250th celebration activities, to include the public, to include free ice cream, free popcorn, at existing events where the cost of this whole 2-week activity is really very reasonable, and it includes, as I said before, highlighting 2 brass band concerts, highlighting 2 tune and fork concerts. There is going to be a movie sing-along, 1776. It's going to be held at the public library. Free popcorn giveaway. We're going to have a 2-week historical exhibit along Swayze Park, leading to the Powder House, where we talk about historical milestones that have occurred over the years. We're going to have a community picnic, which I did go over before. We're going to hold activities of the 250th in conjunction with the American Independence Festival activities on the 11th, where before the American Independence Festival starts, we're going to have an all-wheels parade for kids, anybody, wheelchairs, motorized carts, strollers will participate in, and we'll be decorating those all-wheels the day before. The fireworks will take place that evening. Everything will have a 250 celebration slant to it. So we've worked very hard for 7 months evaluating what types of activities we'd like to hold, the cost of those activities, and we all focus back on having Exeter-centric activities, at a cost everybody can participate in, low cost, and featuring our existing events.
Impressive.
Sounds good. Sounds very good.
That being said, what the 250 committee is going to do is encourage other groups and activities that hold events at other times during the year to incorporate the 250th theme into their activities. For example, and this is not confirmed yet, this is just some ideas, that there be a 250 theme at the Festival of Trees, the Christmas parade, and so on and so forth. And as I said, those things are not confirmed yet, they're just ideas.
Very good.
I don't see how the UFO committee is going to do that, but I don't think. In fact, I'm not quite sure how the Festival of Trees is going to do it.
Yeah,
since,
but, I mean, it could be we just have one tree at the Festival of Trees, but yes, we just,
Maybe we'll give your committee the first award from it. You guys are working pretty hard.
there are people on that committee that should get an award, let me tell you, say that.
Yeah.
So, old business, the New Hampshire Preservation Alliance held their 225th statewide preservation conference here in Exeter. Thank you so much for being at the conference.
Not too much activity at the handicap door, but we
There wasn't a whole lot at the front
Got-
either, but that's fine.
got some more. Do they think they had a good conference?
It was, I think they had under 200, maybe 195 attendees. I know I went to several of the breakout sessions. They were very interesting. The people attending the conference were very engaged. I would say more than a quarter of them were from other heritage commissions from other
Yeah.
parts of the state, which were very interesting to talk to them about what they're doing. And it was very interesting. Yes, so we did receive many thanks, the Heritage Commission, on assisting, and Julie Gilman and the Select Board in assisting them put on this conference. And they did give us a commemorative etching.
Oh,
And I think Julie was going to bring it today, and it was for the Heritage Commission. So they gave us a commemorative etching, and hopefully she could bring it next.
we'll put it up in our club room.
You will put it in our club room. Yes.
Now, that's very nice. Well, I just wondered if, they do this every year, every 2 years.
Every 2 years,
2 years.
in a different part of the state.
Right, and they've really grown in there. I didn't know much about them 10 years ago, but they seem to have been more active, and their publications are better and whatnot. And this Seven to Save is a great idea. I just hope that Megan said, "Wow, that was worth doing."
They said that, yes. There was a lot of positive feedback. The speakers were great. The discussions were great.
It was nice to introduce Exeter to some of these people.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Good. All right.
So hopefully next meeting, Julie could bring the etching, and we
Sure.
could decide what to put in our clubhouse. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll find a place.
In terms of the Park Street Bridge potential demolition, that's an ongoing discussion, and at some time, if we need to make some kind of statements regarding that.
Well, they're trying to decide whether the railroad is responsible or the town is responsible, and of course, everybody, yeah. But from the point of view of heritage, first of all, it's 1892, which is relatively new for this town. And it's been closed for quite a while now anyway, so it really isn't doing anything. So I would say take it down myself, but
Yeah, yes,
then again, what do you do at the railroad crossing?
right.
Which is why they put the thing up in the first place, so. But anyway,
Right. The reason for the bridge is not relevant anymore with
No.
the building of the fire station
yeah,
on the
well,
other side.
whatever. I'm still, I voted against that every time, but anyway, they've got it.
Well, I know that I have
Yeah.
looked at all these historic maps, and you can see a bridge there or
Yeah.
a crossing.
Well, they had a crossing, and what they didn't want in 1892, which is when before they had electric arms that went up and down, you had to pay somebody to stand at that crossing.
Really?
Yeah. And he had a little house, and of course, he can't be there 24/7, so you need a backup person to be there, and it gets expensive. So let's put a bridge in. But frankly, a modern train isn't going to go under that bridge anyway, so,
Yeah. Yeah. I know the neighborhood probably will want to give input into what they'd like to see happen there too, so.
Well, we'll wait and see what the railroad comes up with, and you know, if they need it or not.
Right. At such time when we need to give some input, we will.
Okay.
So in terms of informational discussion, are there any items on here that anybody wants to make any comments on? Any?
You mentioned at one meeting that we might like to have a joint meeting with the Independence Commission, but it would have to be up here, I
Yeah.
guess, if we did that. And I don't know, that we might be having enough togetherness with the celebrations of the 250th. I don't know, but I don't know. But I bet Joe Pace would go along with it. They want to.
I would love to have them here for a discussion of some kind. We could bring it to their attention and see what they have to say.
Yeah,
I would love that.
if you wanted to.
Because they are ramping up their programming and strengthening their goals and their messages, and it would probably be very interesting to hear that.
Well, that would be interesting. Yeah, I would agree. And they seem to be getting more and more things. And then there's always, I have to think about the integration of the Historical Society and the American Museum. Their concentration is different than
Right.
than the historic. But then how do we fit in with that either? We're also, as the Heritage Commission, I guess, we're more and more global or whatever. I mean, we're thinking we're closer to the Historical Society than we are to the American Museum because they're concentrated on pretty much the Revolutionary period.
Well, I would say both of those organizations are very important to the heritage and the history of the town in different ways.
Well, we met with the historic.
Right.
So it might be, I don't know, it might sometime, do you know Joe?
Yes.
Yeah, it would be- just say, you know, what do you think?
Okay.
And they may have too much on their plate right now.
Right.
and-
Right now.
But we can see.
Okay, I would agree with you.
I would say that's worth an informal question or discussion with him, whether he thinks it would even be very valuable or not.
Yes.
And as Julie pointed out, they would have trouble televising it down there.
Right.
So they probably have to come up here. But if we're inviting them, they should come to our house.
Yes, yeah, I think it'd be great to have a discussion on that. I know that these organizations in town are very valuable to the preservation of the history and the heritage of, specifically of our town. So it would be good to hear from them, and although we can't support individual nonprofits, we can encourage programming and encourage people to attend and encourage participation. Pam, I have a question. Are the rolling shelves in?
They are.
They are.
And now, we have to get everything off the floor and back onto the shelves.
Okay.
And what a project that is.
Okay. Are you happy with the rolling shelves in the historical
Well, they
society?
certainly, they fit a lot better than I thought they were. I have about 5 murder mysteries which took place with people squished in between rolling shelves, but these supposedly, this one cannot happen, that they will not,
Oh,
oh well.
okay.
But that's fine, and I don't know when we're going to be put back together. I mean, because everything had to come off those shelves, and everything had to be stacked on the floor. And having that program 2 weeks ago was just at the absolute worst possible time.
No, you said that. Yes.
So, anyway, so that's what we're doing.
Right.
Okay.
Good.
That's great. That's congratulations. I mean, that was a big project. And that turnaround is great, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Does anybody have anything to add to our meeting today?
No, we're good.
I know I have 2 things I need to do. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn,
Move to adjourn.
and it's almost 11 o'clock.
Woo, pretty
good.
good.
Okay, thank you. So,
Thank you for tuning in to Exeter TV. Exeter TV is the town's public and government access channels, available on Comcast channels 6 and 22. Channel 6 is your channel. If you have an idea for a program, want to host your own talk show, or submit a film, we're here to get your content on television. On Channel 22, we bring you live and replay coverage of government meetings and other town updates. A third channel, Blue Hawk Media, is operated by SAU 16 and can be found on Channel 8, with all your school sports, events, and meetings. You can watch Exeter TV online at exeternh.tv, Apple TV, and on Roku. Find us on social media for extra content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell to get notified about live streams and new content. Tune in to our platforms every other Friday to watch the Exeter Biweekly Report, with recaps of recent events, updates from town departments, and messages from nonprofits in your area. If you head to our website, exeternh.tv, we invite you to sign up to our newsletter to receive monthly updates about new content, upcoming meetings, and more. We'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch Exeter TV and hope that you tune in to our other content as well.